My views towards Australia have changed since being here, and here is how. Hello guys, welcome back to another video. So as you can see, I am back to hostel life, travel life, hence the background. I can only apologise for that. But yeah, we're back in travel mode now in Australia. I am back in Australia for my third year. If you guys didn't know, I previously did 2 years in Australia, and now I am back for my third year here. And in them 3 years, I have definitely learned a lot. There's been a lot of lessons, a lot of things I've learned about myself, but also loads of things which I've noticed and learned about Australia as a place, about the people, about the culture. And yeah, I share a lot of this on this channel. But in today's video, we're going to go into how my views about Australia have changed over the last 2 or 3 years of being here. Let's get into some points. So point number one is a point that I've spoken about before, and it is the constant holiday at first. Now this is something which, everyone I feel like experiences when they first move. It's this amazing feeling. You don't feel like you've moved to set up a new life. You're almost just in this holiday stage where everything is amazing. You can't believe you're in a new country. And this is perhaps the most obvious one out of the lot, because this is something that's always gonna happen. You're never gonna constantly have that feeling of, this is amazing. Eventually you do settle into normal life and stuff like that. But it's definitely a big change that I've noticed. And now I see Australia just as a great place to live. I see it as home, or like a second home in a lot of ways. But I definitely don't see it in that same way that I did when I first moved, which was this place is incredible. Constant holiday vibes. Of course, Australia is amazing. I love it. But now I just see it as a very, very chill place to live. One of my favorite places in the world, of course, and definitely a place that I feel very at home. But that whole thing of constant holiday has definitely disappeared over my time here, which is completely natural. Number two is when I first moved, I thought the place was pretty much faultless, which is not the case. Now, don't get me wrong, Australia has far less faults. As a place like the UK, for example, I feel like in terms of places to live, Australia has to be one of the best, honestly. But when you first move and you're in that initial holiday period, you think the place is literally faultless. There's nothing wrong at all. After a while, you definitely do start to see a few things that are difficult, or perhaps that Australia don't do as well as the UK, for example. Whether that be the price of rent, the overall expensive prices, the isolation from being away from friends and family, certain culture differences. Sometimes I miss English people, or the pub culture, or English food and stuff like that. But it's things that you don't care about when you first move. You literally think the place is, well, faultless. But after being in Australia for a while, yeah, there are some things which perhaps are done better in the UK, for example. This does not mean that I don't think Australia is the best place to live, because I think it is, but it's definitely not faultless. Point number three is that I didn't actually find Aussies super friendly at first. I think this was because I was in the city. I lived in Sydney for the first 3 or 4 months of being in Australia, and whilst Aussies there were very nice, I wasn't crazy about them. I didn't think they were the nicest people I've ever met, or the most open, or the most friendly. But after being here for 2 or 3 years and traveling most of the country, when you get out to the more rural towns, remote places, travel, that's when you meet the real Australians. And my views towards Australian people, I think I like Australian people even more now I've been here 2 or 3 years, because I've traveled to remote towns where Aussies are a lot more helpful than your average corporate person in the city. So my views towards Aussies have definitely changed, I would say, in a positive way. Point number four is when I first moved, I wanted the big city life, and now I definitely don't. The dream when I first moved to Australia was to live in Sydney, live in one of the big cities and have that big city life. But honestly, after traveling most of Australia, there's only one city in which I'd say I really love, and that is Perth. All my other favourite places are smaller towns, and honestly, if I had to live in Australia long term, I would definitely live in a smallish town or a suburb of a city. I definitely wouldn't live in the city. I dreamed of that, Australia, big city life, living in Sydney by the Opera House, but realistically, after being here for a long time, I definitely appreciate nature a lot more, and I appreciate living in smaller towns. You meet better people, and all cities just feel the same after a while. And number five is I used to think the nightlife and the night culture and everything was pretty But after being here for multiple years, I now realise that that is not an important thing at all. And to be honest, I hardly go out now. And I've realised living in Australia, there is so much else to do, better things, a way better lifestyle to live than just nightlife. And whilst at first I thought the nightlife, oh, this is so shit, the nightlife isn't good at all, now that does not bother me at all, because I don't really like going out, and if I do, I like a few chill drinks, which you definitely still get in Australia. You don't get the amazing nightlife, but at first that bothered me. Now I definitely don't care about the nightlife at all. So yeah, there's 5 reasons how my views towards Australia have changed after being here. There's definitely some things which, yeah, where my views have changed. Some of them in a positive way, some not, but some things just naturally change. Maybe it's with me as a person, but yeah, my views towards the country in some ways have definitely changed. I don't like it any more now than I did at the start. I've always loved Australia, but yeah, there's certain areas where my views definitely have, changed.